I have been sitting here thinking about this team, and honestly, the sheer amount of talent we have brought to the Los Angeles Rams this offseason is nothing short of legendary. Something just happened that could shake up everything for our defense, and it is honestly the most fascinating development I have tracked all year. While everyone is talking about the flashy names, there is a quiet shift happening that completely changes how we play at the line of scrimmage. The more details come out, the harder it is to ignore the impact. Smash that like button, subscribe, and comment your name and city. Let us get into it. The Los Angeles Rams have quietly made their most important defensive move of the season by signing veteran cornerback Jaylen Watson in free agency. While our front office grabbed headlines by acquiring stars like Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett, the addition of Watson is the true foundation of our secondary's resurgence under coach Sean McVay. For years, we have endured a roster filled with undersized cornerbacks who lack the necessary length to challenge wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, often forcing us to play soft coverage that left us vulnerable to big plays. Watson arrives with a solid 6'2" frame and proven experience, providing exactly the type of physicality we have missed since the departure of Jalen Ramsey. This signing was finalized early this offseason, and it addresses the lingering frustration we felt after watching our defense struggle to contain explosive passing attacks throughout the previous year. Rams fans are feeling a distinct sense of relief because this move signals a departure from the experimental, undersized defensive backfields of the past. We finally have a reliable veteran who can hold his own on the perimeter, which allows defensive coordinator Chris Shula the tactical flexibility to play more aggressively without constantly worrying about the pass rush needing to be perfect. The emotional reaction across the fan base has been one of quiet confidence, as we realize this wasn't just another depth signing, but a tactical fix for our biggest defensive flaw. People might be focused on the blockbuster trades, but the truth is that Jaylen Watson is the missing piece who stabilizes our entire secondary. We can finally stop relying on patchwork solutions and start expecting consistent coverage on the outside, which completely changes our defensive ceiling for the upcoming season and gives us the stability we have been craving for a long time. The journey to signing Jaylen Watson was born out of a desperate organizational realization, following the bitter sting of last season's playoff exit against Sam Darnold. When the front office reviewed the tape, they saw a secondary that was physically bullied, leading to the decision to move away from the smaller cornerbacks who defined the Sean McVay era. We have seen this experiment fail before, specifically with the inconsistency of Ahkello Witherspoon, who struggled to stay healthy and eventually lost his step at age 29. Watson enters the building with a clean slate and a frame that perfectly fits the modern NFL, standing 6'2" and weighing nearly 200 pounds. This is a deliberate shift in philosophy designed to prioritize durability and reach over pure quickness. Inside the facility, the coaching staff views this as a calculated upgrade that allows defensive coordinator Chris Shula to stop masking his secondary with excessive off-coverage. They are betting on the fact that Watson's length, paired with a massive frame that has seen limited injury downtime compared to his predecessor, will finally anchor the perimeter. The front office believes that by pairing him with Trent McDuffie, they have created a rare high-level tandem capable of operating on an island without constant safety help. This move reflects a shift from relying purely on the pass rush to creating a balanced unit that can win individual battles. While it might lack the immediate name recognition of adding a star edge rusher, the staff is convinced this technical improvement is the missing link to competing for a championship. The bottom line here is that the Rams are finally prioritizing physical stature to counter the league's biggest receivers, ensuring that we no longer fold when the pass rush takes a momentary breather on the field. The arrival of Jaylen Watson represents a pivotal turning point for our defense that goes far beyond the headline-grabbing trades we saw this offseason. While we are all rightfully excited about the massive upgrades on our defensive line, this under-the-radar signing is the exact move that stabilizes our secondary for the long haul. For years, we have watched our cornerbacks struggle against bigger receivers, often forcing our coaching staff to play soft coverage just to avoid catastrophic blunders. Watson changes that reality because he provides the genuine height and physicality we have sorely lacked since the departure of Jalen Ramsey. His presence means Chris Shula can finally trust his corners on an island, which empowers our pass rush to play with total reckless abandon. This depth chart shift allows us to move away from the experimental lineups that plagued us during previous campaigns, creating a reliable starting duo with Trent McDuffie that ranks among the league elite. When we face aggressive offenses like those led by Mike McDonald in Seattle or Mike LaFleur in Arizona, this newfound ability to press at the line of scrimmage will be the difference between a stop and a costly explosive play. The stakes are incredibly high because our window for another championship run is wide open, and we can no longer afford to let opposing quarterbacks pick apart our secondary when the initial pressure fails to arrive. By solidifying the perimeter, we have effectively hardened our path through a brutal division schedule and drastically improved our odds of making a deep push into the playoffs. It is rare to find a value signing that alters the identity of a unit this significantly, but Watson does exactly that, giving our defensive backfield the grit and professional experience needed to compete against the very best in this league. The signing of Jalen Watson represents a masterstroke for this secondary because he finally brings the imposing physical profile we have lacked since the departure of Jalen Ramsey. By adding a cornerback with legitimate length and size, we gain the ability to challenge receivers at the line of scrimmage rather than constantly retreating into soft zones to prevent big plays. This shift allows our pass rushers more time to collapse the pocket, effectively forcing opposing quarterbacks into the dangerous mistakes that define winning football. However, we must address the legitimate risks involved in betting on a player who has not yet served as a primary full-time starter in a high-pressure environment. Relying on him to anchor the perimeter is a gamble, and if his technique falters without the familiar safety net he enjoyed previously, our defense could remain vulnerable against elite wideouts. Around the league, analysts are taking notice, with experts like Gilbert Manzano already highlighting our cornerback tandem as a top-tier unit, noting that the chemistry between Watson and Trent McDuffie provides a level of coverage consistency we have not seen in years. Rival organizations are watching closely, wondering if this quiet addition will prove more impactful than the headline-grabbing trades that dominated the offseason narrative. And I will be straight with you, I believe this is exactly the kind of gritty tactical move that separates championship contenders from the rest of the pack. While the flashier names get the limelight, adding a reliable physical presence like Watson is what actually fixes the structural integrity of this defensive unit. The bottom line here is that Sean McVay has prioritized toughness, and if Watson plays to his potential, he will be recognized as the absolute steal of this entire free agency period for the Rams. The acquisition of Jalen Watson alongside high-profile stars signals a definitive shift in the front office strategy, proving that the Rams are fully committed to building a championship-caliber secondary to match our elite pass rush. For us as fans, this means the organization is no longer cutting corners by relying on undersized, stopgap solutions in the defensive backfield. We are finally moving toward a long-term identity based on physicality and length, which is exactly how Sean McVay intends to navigate the competitive landscape of the NFL over these next few seasons. You should feel incredibly optimistic about this direction because for the first time in years, our defense is being constructed with complementary pieces that actually elevate one another rather than just filling roster spots. With Watson, we finally possess the perimeter toughness necessary to stop explosive passing attacks, giving our coaches the freedom to play aggressive, winning football. This move creates a standard where the secondary is no longer a liability waiting to break, but a foundation for sustained success. It is clear that the Rams are tired of being one piece away from true dominance, and this calculated addition suggests we are going all in to maximize our current window of opportunity. Do you believe the pairing of Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson will immediately establish this defense as a top 5 unit in the league this year? I am eager to hear your thoughts on this significant transformation in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Ram it! I'll see you in the next one. Your feedback truly drives the content we create here every single day. We are constantly striving to improve, so keep those suggestions coming as we prepare for an absolutely massive upcoming football season.